Hey girlies! Okay, so I'm in the kitchen again and I'm gonna do a 30-minute meal, which actually today it is chili, and this is like the easiest chili recipe ever and it takes less than 30 minutes. So let's go into what you're gonna need. I use 80/20 ground beef. You can get your ground beef anywhere. I got it at Target. They had a deal. Then you're going to need an entire jar of paste, salsa, and get the chunky, because there's a reason. And I always get medium. If you don't like medium, get mild. It doesn't matter. It just depends on how spicy you like your chili. You're going to use that entire jar. Get a can of dark red kidney beans. A can of light red kidney beans, and of course your chili powder. And again, remember, I am a family of 2, my husband and me, so if you have a family of 4, double everything. This is really easy. Let's go to the salsa and I'll explain the salsa. Instead of having to cut everything up, this is all you do. You just use the salsa. It's already cut up, the tomatoes and everything like that. So that's what the sauce is for. This is your chili sauce. That's why it's so easy. The only thing that takes a while is to brown up your hamburger meat. So let's get started with that. And I'm going to turn on the oven and we're going to brown our hamburger meat first. Okay, so I put my ground beef in my pot. I am a huge fan about using one pot because I don't like to do dishes. I already work 2 jobs. I don't have any patience to do a bunch of dishes, especially on a weekday night. And tonight is Tuesday night. The reason I decided to do the chili meal is because it is cold and it's raining out. So I thought it'd be like a nice, good, warm, delicious meal to have already. So all I'm doing is browning it up. I really like my hamburger meat to be really brown. It's almost like that kind of crispy brown, if you guys know what I'm talking about. I think it gives a good flavor to the chili. So this is actually on high right now. I like to do things fast, so it is actually going really fast. And I'll show you when it gets all brown how I like it. I also like to add salt and pepper. I add pepper to a lot of things. I think it makes everything taste a little bit better. So I always add a little salt and a little pepper. And I'm gonna let this get nice and brown. And then I drain all the grease and the fat and stuff out of it. So I will show you what it should look like before you start to drain it. So your ground beef should, look at all that nice smoky stuff. Your ground beef should look like that. All the meat should be nice and brown. And then take this over to the sink and go ahead and drain out all that grease. And what I like to do is put the meat back in and brown it up a little bit more, because what happens is as it starts to brown, the grease, the water, all the moisture from the meat will cause it not to get that nice round hamburger. So I want it to be nice and brown. So I put it back on the stove. I'm going to try to brown it up a little bit more before I start adding all my other things. And I'm going to turn it back down to medium now. Okay, so I drained it, I turned it down to medium, and now it's getting really nice and brown. And you can smell it too. It has that really like good hamburger smell. I love the smell of hamburger. So I'm going to show you what you do next. It's still on medium. You're going to take your jar of paste. And this is a 24-ounce bottle. So you're going to take the whole jar and pour it right in. another good stir, kind of mix the meat up with the veggies and stuff. So this cuts down on all that cutting that you have to do with all the stuff. Onions, tomatoes that you normally put in any chili. And look, it already looks like good old chili right there. So next we're going to add in our beans. And I'm going to go ahead and open up the cans, and that way you don't have to watch me sit there and open them up while I'm sitting on the floor like I did last time. So I'm going to open them up and show you what to do next. Okay, so I went ahead and I opened up my cans of light red kidney beans, and I drained it in the sink. All the water's drained out. I'm going to pour that in. And then I opened up my can of dark red kidney beans, and I already drained it too, and I'm going to pour that in. Now, I'm going to stir that up. And some people like their chili more like a stew, and I know some people like their chili more liquidy, like a soup. And I actually do like it to be a little more liquidy because I don't know where this came from, but you take a cracker and you take just American cheese, and you take another cracker and you make little cheese cracker sandwiches. I might do that next so you guys can see what I do. It's just a tradition and that we do in our family, make these little cheese crackers to dip in our chili. I'll show you guys how to do that next, but to make it kind of a little more liquidy, I take the same paste jar and I fill it up to right there where the label is, and I pour that in. That just gives a little more liquid, so when we dip our little crackers in, they'll actually get the taste of it. So that's in there. And then the final thing that you need to add is your chili powder. Really, it's based on how hot you like it. I do a tablespoon. You gotta remember, you got the salsa in there, so if you don't like anything spicy, you might want to start off like a half a tablespoon. It just depends on your taste of it, but I do an entire tablespoon. And I just sprinkle it in, and then give it another good stir, and make sure it's all nice and mixed, because you don't want any of the chili powder to be stuck in one section or anything, or it's gonna not taste good for one, and then it's gonna burn someone's mouth for sure. And the reason why I love the chili is because if I can make this, and if my husband is working late, what I do is I just turn it down on low, and it just simmers the entire time until he gets home, and then he still gets a nice warm dinner that tastes really good and fresh, even though he wasn't home at the same time as I made it. And I actually started this at 4 o'clock, and it's now 4:16. So 16 minutes, I mean, that's pretty easy. And I love this chili recipe. I make it this way only because I really don't taste the difference in having to cut all those onions up and all the tomatoes up and all that stuff up when it already comes in a jar cut up for you. That's kind of how I am. So what I'm going to do is show you guys how to make my little cheese sandwiches and how I serve it. Okay, so my chili is on a simmer right now. My tea is on. I filled up my tea with a cup of sugar, 5 tea bags. So when my water heats up, I pour it in. And I'm going to show you guys how I make my little cheese sandwiches that I serve with my chili. I don't know where I even learned how to do this. It's just something that was always done in my family. Maybe if anyone else does this, they can comment below and be like, oh, well, yeah, my family does it too. It's just your crackers and just your plain old American cheese. I'm just going to make one now because my husband won't be home until later, and I don't need to make a whole bunch of them. I just make them when we go to eat. Because, you know, crackers, they get stale really fast. So you're going to take 4 crackers. Can you guys see that? Let me see. Let me move this so you can see it better. So there's 4 crackers. You take your cheese. I know this is really dorky, but I guess some people might not know what cheese crackers are, but this is what little cheese cracker sandwiches are. You fold it in half, and then you fold it in half again, and you take a slice and put it on each one of your crackers. And then you just take 4 more crackers and put on top. And then I dip it in my chili and I eat it, and that's how I like my chili. So I'm gonna get me a plate and show you how I serve it, and I'll see you in a little bit. Hold on, it's almost done. Okay, so I turn my chili down on low now. I let it get, I guess it was on medium for about, I don't know, 15 minutes. I let it really get boiling and stuff for about 15 minutes, and then I just turned it down on low. And I keep it on low until my husband gets home. I just take a ladle and a bowl, and I put a scoop in, and then I always drink tea with everything, so I'm gonna have tea with it and my little crackers, and I guess I didn't bring a spoon. I have no idea why I'm getting so detailed, like, oh, get a spoon. But who knows? Maybe somebody needs to know that you need a spoon to eat chili with. I don't know. But anyways, pretty much how I eat it is I dump those little cheese crackers in, soak it up, let the chili soak up in the cracker, and then and it's good. And mine is spicy. So remember when you buy the salsa, if you want medium or mild, because that's going to make it spicy. And then how much chili powder you put in, tablespoon or a half a tablespoon, or you can put very little in. It just depends on how spicy you like it. My husband likes it spicy, and I like it spicy. But that's it. And it's 4:32, which it really didn't take that long. It was just me waiting for it to warm up a little bit more, and for me to kind of get hungry while I was doing the cuts in and out. But it really doesn't take that long. This is the only way I make my chili now. I love it. I know my mom, my grandma, and my sister-in-law love it. And it's simple and it's easy. And I hope you guys love it too. And I hope this just saved you guys tons of time in the kitchen, because now all I've got is 1 pot and maybe 2 utensils to clean and a couple of dishes. I can throw that in the dishwasher, and hopefully by the end of the week is what I run the dishwasher, and I don't have to do dishes like constantly, which I love. So if you enjoyed this 30-minute meal, give me a thumbs up. Woo woo! And I will put more 30-minute meals out there to try to save you girlies some extra time and make it look like you spent all day in the kitchen when you really didn't. So I hope you guys really enjoy these, and please subscribe, and thanks so much for watching this, and have a great dinner. Good night.
Thanks, girlies, for watching. Please subscribe to my channel, and don't forget, give me a thumbs up, and I'll keep making these 30-minute meals